Hello, welcome to Ed. We're on live.
Oh,
Are you kidding me? Okay, that is why you don't do. I can't pause it. I can't. No, I can't. It's live. Okay, shh, goodbye. Okay, that's what happens in a house of all boys. So I totally apologize. And now he's totally got me off track on what I'm going to talk about. Live is very dangerous. Go away. Oh my gosh. So whoever just heard him, I am so sorry, and pretend you did not hear that. I was actually going to talk about something today, a lot more serious and important. I was going to talk about money mindset, because somebody had asked me what was my biggest barrier in growing my business, or where did I personally find the biggest struggle in my business development or business growth. And I'm totally distracted now by Ed's first introduction into my live, but I'm going to reset it. My biggest barrier is probably not what you would think, or it's not, a lot of us, when we think about developing or growing a business, it's, around the marketing of the business or finding a location, and of course, marketing back to getting clients and the program. For me, my biggest struggle around growing my business has been my own mindset around money. And I absolutely love my mama and my dad, but a lot of this, my mindset around money absolutely goes back to my upbringing and goes back to a set of beliefs that was instilled in me as a very young child. And again, I didn't grow up poor, or I wasn't hard done by. I had a nice home and my parents got us everything we wanted, but they always were very, very strict or tight in the mindset around money. We heard all the time, money doesn't grow on trees. Nothing is free, that you always work for somebody else, that you always want benefits, and, that you don't spend your money, save. And they had positive intention in all of that message, absolutely. And I understand where they're coming from. They wanted to protect me. But with that mindset, it was very limiting. So then when I'm trying to grow a business, I held on to somebody else's disappointments as if they were my own beliefs. So I really got trapped in this thinking that, deservability, I didn't deserve to make what was the value aligned with the programs or the services I was offering, or that there wasn't enough money out there for me to make. Who would ever pay me for what I am doing? And, the fact actually is, with that one particular point, I think it was only 2 months ago, my mom actually said, your dad still doesn't really understand what you do, or why would someone ever pay them to help them to eat, or help them to grow a business, or help them with their mindset. So there is this part of my brain that even when that is said, I still step back, and it's still something that I struggle with and something I battle with. And it's not my belief, but I've had to do work over letting go of the limiting belief of my parents. And I think many of us can experience that, or have had situations, whether it's with money or with maybe relationships, or even belief around food, right? About how we eat and why we eat. So, we all have these limiting beliefs and things that we've experienced as a child, or things that we've experienced in our lifetime, where we then recognize we start making decisions off our limiting beliefs. So when I started my business, money, again, that was a huge thing for me. I thought that I had to work multiple jobs, and a passion or something I knew I was so good at could never actually make me money unless I worked for somebody else, right? I mean, why would somebody just pay me? You have to work for somebody else with your expertise, or for somebody else. It was also, when I first started getting going, I was scared to ask people. I was scared to say, this is the value of my program. Instead, I would just kind of let it go, or I wouldn't follow up with people. And I was insecure about that. And again, this is, it was years for me of this misalignment of deservability, misalignment of what money was, and also, again, not thinking that like how in the world would someone ever pay somebody who's not in a big corporation? Okay. So my biggest barrier was really having to work through that, really recognizing that that was somebody else's disappointment around money. It was not mine. It was somebody else's belief. And that belief was, they had a positive intention. It was to protect me. It was to keep me safe. They only ever wanted what was best for me. But in fact, it really was something that handcuffed me. It was something that prevented my growth, but has also allowed me to have the biggest growth of my life, because I was able to step back. I was able to work with my coaches and my mentors. I was able to have conversations between Eddie and I and just really dive into where that came from, where the deservability. And I think so many of us as well, money is this funny thing that people are scared to talk about, right? We think that, it's, oh, don't ever ask somebody or tiptoe around it. Or, we sit back and we silently worship people who we think have more. We're scared to give to charities that we feel passionate about because we might run out. We think it's for other people, but in fact, there's enough out there for every single person on this planet when you believe that you deserve it, that you believe in yourself, and when you let go of the limiting beliefs that this, because money is fluent. It doesn't have power unless you give it power. So stepping back and just recognizing that you can have as much as you want, that you can, it's not the money you want, it's the experiences from that. And to start getting real about it. And a couple of things that I did in my life to start getting real about it is I let it go. So I actually let it go usually before I ever make it. And it's fluent for me though. My business is doing incredible, but it's fluent. So before I ever made it, I let it go. I gave with my heart to the places I wanted to give to. I paid for things up front when I didn't necessarily have the money to do so at certain times. And I did those things because my mentor said, if I'm living in fear, I will always be controlled by it. So the minute I stopped living in fear about money, the minute I decided I can talk about it, and it's like not this weird language that we're not supposed to talk about that. The minute I start doing that, then I had freedom from it. And with freedom comes growth. So that was the biggest barrier, but also the biggest growth in my business, but also in my own personal development. And mom and dad, I'm really sorry, because this is nothing against you whatsoever. Everything you did was in my best interest, but that was definitely a personal barrier for me. And for those who were on at the very beginning when Ed was totally inappropriate on the live video, I'm so sorry. But you know what? But we're live, and that's what happens. So have a great night. I will chat with you tomorrow.